Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I want to talk about portfolio. This is one subject, in my most recent chats with UX designers or students trying to prepare for their job searching. It still sounds like portfolio is this a beast. Like I will spend like weeks, months, like try to get something ready, put the projects together, but I just never sure like, do I need to put more? Is this good enough? Or like when can I I know that my portfolio is ready. I should start sending it out my job applications. And yeah, so I want to talk about a couple of insights that I learned in my past experience, and hopefully this will help you guys when you are preparing your portfolios. So just one quick reminder before we jump right into the topic. If you like the topic, like the content you're seeing here, and want to see more about everything about UX, please subscribe to my channel, UB321. You can tap the subscribe button right here so you won't miss any of my upcoming sessions. So the first thing, number one, is don't spend too much time on selecting the platform. So this is one thing I realized that, and actually got asked a lot, like what is your preferred platform for hosting your online portfolio? And I know there are like so many options out there, like from Squarespace, Wix, Webflow, and so on. You can name, just to name a few. If you ask me, do I have a preference? It probably doesn't really matter too much on your end. And I think any of those platforms can pretty much do the job in terms of hosting a portfolio website. You can spend a little bit of time exploring like what is the pros and cons, like advanced features versus like limitations or constraints for those platforms, like doing a quick comparison, or just go ask people, like ask your friends or other like UX designers, like what they have used in the past. But does it matter, or how much does it matter? Try not to overthink about it. It is just a platform, and choose whichever one you feel most comfortable with. And most importantly, just to start putting and building your portfolio website together. When I was preparing for my first job to get into UX from my transition from the architecture background, and I was struggling about this too, like, since I'm interviewing as a UX designer, I want to make the portfolio really stand out and impressive. And I started looking, okay, what are the difference between those different tools? But at the end of the day, just keep reminding yourself, like the end goal of having this web portfolio is to get you into the next round of the interview, or get you into started for the job interviews. So the next thing I want to talk about is have a plan of how much time you want to spend on building the portfolio, and set yourself a goal so it doesn't end up like never-ending projects. So I know putting together a portfolio, especially if you're looking for your first UX job, can be really stressful because you're not sure like what will be enough, what is good enough. I see so many people like spending weeks, months, and sometimes over half a year to just putting together a portfolio. But at the end of the day, portfolio is just a summary of what you have worked on, and your project experience, and how you solve problem. And so to have a strategic plan, like when you start working on the portfolio, is really important. So for example, I am starting from zero right now. I have like 3 projects ready. So have a plan. For example, I want to finish 1 project per week, and so have some room for like adding the intro, landing page, working out the visual details. So have 1 week at the end of doing the final polish. So just set up a time frame. Like for example, I want to finish from today, like when I started, I want to finish my portfolio in 4 weeks with 3 projects plus like the other intro, about me, the other details. So it probably will take a little bit longer, and that's okay. When like working on a any planning for anything, like it can change, but it's always, I think, better to have a plan versus not. And when I say have a plan, it really doesn't, I think I think it's more helpful when you can like take the high level goal into the actionable items. For example, like say I want to have this 1 week dedicated on project A and I want to finish that. And in addition to that level of high level goal, I think it's always helpful to have some breakdown into the actionable items. For example, Monday and Tuesday, I want to figure out a storyline, like what is the process, design process, what are the materials that I want to show there from visual to text. And Wednesday, Thursday, I want to start taking those details into more presentable format and take those into the actual web view for portfolio. And Friday, I want to spend the time to really look through the details, the stories, to make sure the structure and the flow of the story works the best. So, you know, like this is just an example, but what I really like want to emphasize here is try to take your high level goal into actionable plan and even put that on your calendar, and that will help you like stick to the plan and as much as possible to, you know, keep yourself up to like on track in terms of accomplishing the goal of have your portfolio ready. So another thing I want to talk about is in terms of the lens or how much details you want to put for a portfolio. It is really different than an article. You know, it's from a hiring side of point of view, when I review portfolios, try to select the best candidate for the role I'm hiring for, very rare I will be like reading the detailed stories like line by line, and majority of the case it's really a scanning mode. Honestly, so I'm there with a mindset that I want to make sure, okay, what have you done? Have you do you demonstrate like a clear thinking process? For example, if you're showing a before and after example, do you have a clear argument or reason supporting why you make the design decisions? I want to like by glancing through, I also want to like get a feel of do you have the basic like skill sets for a UX designer, for example, creating wireframes, like task flows, or and then go into the high fidelity mocks or interactive prototypes, like those kind of like key skill sets. Do you have like examples showing that you have done those kind of works? So I have seen so many like portfolios in the past like months since I started doing the coffee chat volunteer mentorship. So it's one common things that I notice is too much details. You know, like I see so many like portfolios spending a lot of the space talking about research at the beginning, like this is the problem of this company or this product, and I did this kind of research by interviewing like 10 people or doing a survey with 100, like those are the questions I asked. You know, those are like, yes, you have done those work to define the problem, but in the format of a web portfolio, it's just too much. And you want to really, I think, to show the structure. Like for example, like what is the problem? Clearly define the problem. If you did research or interview, like any type of research, it's great. Show bullet point. What is the findings? What you find out, like that help you define this is the problem I will be focused on, and that will be what we'll be looking at in the design, like based on like this is the problem we'll be solving. So have a really clear problem statement rather than having like a paragraph like people have to spend like 10 minutes. If people have to spend 10 minutes reading to understand what is the problem you are solving here, then that's a problem. Because the goal of portfolio is not like a research paper. It's not a research report either. It's to show that use the most condensed language and the best part of your visual work to explain what you have done on a project working and how you solve the problem successfully. In a portfolio format, I think try your best to balance the portion of text versus like visual assets and minimize the text portion. And if you are talking about like thinking process, you can use different ways. For example, like a visual of a screen and then call out like this is, you know, what I did, what I changed, and why did I do that. You know, try to use the visual ways to communicate the story in really like simple, straightforward language, and try to use bullet point or like structured text when you tell the story. Every portfolio have its own structure, and you can take whatever approach. I think this is one, like sometimes people say you should show the process, like from the research to iterations to like low-fi, hi-fi, and findings and research and the impact at the end. Sometimes people say like you shouldn't go through the process. You should start with the okay, what is my solution, the best, like the finalized visual, and then go through the details. I don't have a strong opinion which one is right or wrong, and I don't think it's a right or wrong question. It's really up to you how you want to tell the story. But what I think is really important is to keep the structure really clear and make sure you cover the main point. For example, what is the problem statement? What is your role? And what is the design iteration, your thinking process, and at the end, what is the impact? And when you talk about impact, which is a really important piece at the, I think as a hiring manager, I'll be looking to see what is the impact you made at the end. Usually I see people, like most of the cases, show the impact or result at the end of the portfolio, which is fine. But make sure that you use, if you have number, you have data, try to include that. And also, I think, when you explain the impact, like what, for example, through this redesign, I increased the product user engagement by 20%, like just making this up. But when you show this kind of data, try to use bullet point and make it super easy to read. And if there is a number there, you can, make the number in a bigger size, bigger font, or bold it, just to make it really stand out. So people doesn't have to spend minutes trying to find out, identify what are you trying to tell me, what is the impact. So try to make the story and the impact really sound, and be confident talking about it, and be very clear about use numbers and quantitative data if you can, to communicate it. Okay, the last tips I want to talk about is ask for feedback. So when you have your first draft version of web portfolio ready, to seek for feedback. Like you can, if you have a mentor, share it with your mentor, or ask for how people see it. I think sometimes, especially when you being the one spent like weeks or months working on something, it's really hard to see it from an outside perspective, because you were like deep dive in this subject for so long, and the stories from your side of perspective or lens, it might look like super simple and straightforward because you know every single details. But at the end of the day, portfolio is something that you are going to share with the potential employer, and either a recruiter or a hiring manager will be looking at it without you being there, like explaining, walking through, at least at the first time. So you want to make sure the story is super clear and well explained from an outsider perspective. And this is another common issue I've seen so many times. I think not only portfolio, but also when people get into the final presentation, jumping too fast into the solution, trying to explain what did you do or the actual design decisions, rather than have a really clear problem statement. So I think, so when you have the first draft ready, share the portfolio with others and get feedback, seek for feedback, ask for if email is not maybe the best format, try to schedule a quick video call, or just walk through, ask for be honest with me, just I want to hear your critics, so let me know how you think about my portfolio. There are different ways you can do it. You can do it with your friends or people working as a UX designer, or there are I think UX communities online, from Facebook groups to Slack channels, and any kind of UX community. If you post it and ask for feedback, chances are you will get some level of response. Of course, you don't have to take every single critique or comments, but say 15 out of 20 comments you get is talking about it seems like your portfolio is too much text, has too much text heavy, then that's probably something you want to tweak about. And so and try to take the approach as a UX designer. Portfolio is that product you're working on. When you are done for the first version, you have to test it, right? You want to validate and get some feedback before ship the product for even for the version 1. So this is all I have for today. If you guys have any questions, comments, or any portfolio related questions you have, or portfolios you really love, I would love to hear from you guys. So feel free to leave me comments here. Let me know what other content or topics you would like to hear. So yeah, that's all I have for today. I'll talk to you guys next time. Thank you. Bye.